So remember that Toyota Tacoma I had? Well, I kind of got rid of it, and I got a Nissan Z. Different, right? What a lot of y'all don't know about me is that I actually came from the import scene. That's where I got my photography and pretty much all my car knowledge from is from the import scene, mainly from the Z community. But first, before we get into that, puppy tax. Maple! Say hi, Maple! Say hi! I've owned 350Z, a 370Z, a 280ZX, and now we're at the 2024 Nissan Z. I was in the market for another daily driver slash something different besides the Tacoma. As y'all know, I have the Rivian right now, and that suffices as a truck. I didn't need to have two trucks. I don't know why I really settled on another Tacoma. Well, honestly, what it was, I found a really good deal on the Tacoma because I found the really good deal on the 4Runner that I had. So besides those three Nissan Z cars, I did own a 23 Toyota Supra 3.0 Premium. It was beautiful. It was literally someone messaged me at like 11 o'clock at night. Hey, someone just canceled their order. This is fresh off the truck. Anybody want to buy it? And I'm like, I do. Next morning, I was there buying it. It was silver. It actually came with carbon fiber mirrors. I was like, okay, cool, I'll do it. They gave it to me at MSRP, which was kind of unheard of in 2023. And so I was like, cool, I'll buy it. I had it for about 3 months. It was, a good experience besides not having Android Auto and stuff like that. When I used to work at that detail shop, one of our main accounts was BMW Northwest, and so I used to drive around a lot of BMWs back in the day, and so that was around 2016, 2017, so like the interior from the BMWs in 2016, 2017, 2018, 19, I was used to those interiors. So when I hopped in the 2023 Supra, I was not expecting to see a 2016 BMW inside of a 2023 Supra. And same with the infotainment center inside of the Supra was from the generation beforehand. Now I know the Z4 had the current infotainment center from the BMW because BMW wanted to keep their current system inside their system, with the more tech being said. And so that was one of the main reasons why I ended up just getting rid of it. Now, in the future, if Toyota does come out with a Supra that's all Toyota itself, will I go back to a Supra? More than likely. But when I did sell it, I pretty much got all my money back to include my car payments because the resale value was actually that good. Probably why, whenever I was going around searching for a used Toyota Supra, the prices were still the same price as a new one. Kind of crazy, isn't it? Alright, let's go check out the Nissan Z. So this is a 2024 performance spec. That's the trim model Nissan Z. It comes with 400 horsepower. It's a V6 twin turbo, which is nice. The Supra is a single turbo inline 6. One thing that I did fall in love with was the back end of this. Now, the reason why I say that, I might be a booty man myself because, it looks so good from behind back here. But sometimes if the Rivian is ever down, I do need to carry my camera case and a tripod in here if I ever need to go on a photo shoot with this car. And so it does fit the camera case, so does the Supra, but that's besides the point. But one of my main deciding factors too, 55K to 44K, that's a good $11,000 off. Is the Supra, is it worth $11,000 more? No. Now, there has been a lot more people who have reviewed this vehicle and talked about how the Supra is just an all-around better vehicle, and they're talking about stock for stock. And I will say, yes, the Supra is a better vehicle. It handles a lot better, it has a lot more horsepower, it has a whole lot more to offer it. But one of the main reasons why I decided not to was, yes, because of $11,000. Well, one nice thing is, like AMS has like a $5,000 package to where I can order it and get 500 wheel horsepower. That's half of my savings right there, and I can have 500 wheel horsepower. Now that being said, that's just two of my wheels. I joke, But like, this is my slow car. I'm sitting at 850 horsepower right here, okay, and 1,100 pounds of torque. But you can feel it at 80 miles per hour. You can feel that this is like an 8,000 pound vehicle with all the gear and tint and everything that I have. This, you're not feeling the weight. And so the 500 horsepower that I'll have is going to make it feel like a rocket ship. 600 horsepower is going to feel like, oh my goodness, I'm going to start picking on these. In fact, I'm already picking on the Rivian community. I find Rivians on the road, and I'm like, pray. Now, the reason why I say that is because I know how these things interact on the road. If you are not in sports mode, if you're not squatted down and you're going 60 miles per hour, you don't have the full power. You're not going to be able to smash on it and go. You're just not. You see how it turned off? It knows I'm talking about it. So, right whenever the turbos are spooling up, it's ready to go at 60 miles per hour. But let's talk about it a little bit more. The thing that I feel about this car too is that it feels like it is more of a more mature, more up-to-date version of the Nissan 370Z. Now, the 350Z was great, but that was nearly 20 years ago for me. This was back in 2006, so 19 years ago. I got the 370Z back in 2012, and so what was that? 13 years ago. She sits out here every single time I just do videos. We're almost out of light, so I gotta keep going. Ain't that right, Maple? Ain't that right? And so I kind of feel like they went with a more cleaner outside, a lot better lines. Like, I really disliked the front grille of the Nissan 370Z. Like, the bottom of the grille looked like it had fangs. Like, here you can kind of see it, but it's not as protruding as what the 370Z had. When you have a more classic design like this, it does, it just seems timeless. Some people were talking about like how, the Supra seems more like a car that was built for the 2020s, whereas the Nissan Z feels like a car for the 2010s, and I kind of feel like I'm okay with that. It feels like that until you get on the inside. One of my first actual complaints is I didn't actually know that this wouldn't have been the power seats. So anytime that I was looking at pictures online, I was scrolling through and it kept saying power seats, and I was like, no, those are manual seats. I didn't know that the power seats were over here. So the interior inside the Z is more refined. It actually reminds me a little bit more of what I am used to inside the Rivian. Like the stitching, even the touches behind here. Like, a lot of times I do not like the fake plastic that they put along steering wheels that just feel like stupid, and like I can't explain the plastic, but it's like a stupid fake plastic, or just a plastic fill. But this type of plastic right here, I really like that. So like even down here almost has a plastic metallic feel to it, and I enjoy this. I do. The steering wheel is definitely more luxurious in comparison to some cars. But yeah, no, like the Alcantara down here, super plush, real nice. Up here, this could be a little bit softer. This could definitely be a little bit softer, but all in all, the package on the inside is nice. Now, it's a lot more roomier inside the Z than it is inside the Supra. And, I joke, I consider myself a widescreen TV. I'm short, but wide. Kind of like this screen right here. Here, let's actually look inside my buddy's final edition Supra. So let's cut that in right here. So you guys know I have the Z and everything like that. But the crazy part is that, I had the Supra, and I was going to get the Supra, but I just didn't really fit in the Supra, and it's hard to explain to you guys. But now I can show you at how I fit in a Supra. I was just here for a couple seconds, sir. It really wasn't my fault. I'm so used to getting kicked out of Alki. But in the Supra, It is a little bit smaller. This is one of the final edition seats. It is wonderful. You love this thing, right?
I love it. It's great.
Look at the seatbelt. Oh, stunning. But I feel like even the entrance right here is a lot more bigger than the entrance right there. Now, let's measure with a camera, okay? We're measuring very official with a camera, okay? So we got it that big versus yes. So, okay. I am not doing, it's a couple millimeters longer, okay? That being said, okay, now I remember.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yep. Oh, nope. Okay. I am short. I'm only 5'6", but trying to reach for the door is a little difficult. I have to do like this. I have to like dip out. And I am snug in here now. I am like a widescreen TV, okay? I am short but wide. But I shouldn't be hitting my head like that. And in the Supra, my leg touches here a lot more than what it does in the Z. So you are snugger in here. A lot more snug. Now, some people like that. Some people love that. But for me, not so much. Now, up here is a lot higher too. I liked it. Was it a deal breaker for me? No, I was going to get back into a Supra again. But that's whenever I ran across this Z. So, yeah. So, yeah, let's cut back right here. As you can tell, I have this room right here. Even whenever my foot's on the gas right now, I have room. And so, everything just fits nice where knobs are there, buttons are here. I barely have to reach up. It all fits quite well. And another thing, too, I did choose to go with the automatic. Granted, I had to be honest with myself. Am I going to track this? Yes, I am. Hold up. Just look at her. Would you just look at her right now? Maple, what are you doing? I do plan to go with a few of my friends. In fact, we joke about it, but a bunch of my Rivian buddies, one of my buddies, Nathan, he has the Supra. Another one has a Miata. Another one has an S2000. And so we're going to make track days. We're all going to tow our vehicles with the Rivians to, Pacific Raceway, the Ridge, and all these other places. And just have fun with our non-Rivian cars, right? So we're just going to go have fun. So one of the main reasons why I went automatic, I had to have a full, honest conversation with myself. Am I going to fully track this car all the time? No. I'm going to find myself daily driving this a lot of the times. And where I drive, Highway 16 and I-5, I do sit in a lot of traffic. And I got some bum legs. I got metal all in my legs from my military service. And I remember sitting in D.C. traffic all the time in Washington, D.C., and I really hated my 370Z at times whenever I had to do some shifting. I've had multiple vehicles with manual and everything, and I just hated highway driving with it. Now, would it be a lot more fun and a lot more responsive if I was doing that with a manual transmission on the track? Yes, it would. But I'm just having a realist conversation with myself. How often am I going to track it in comparison to how often would I be daily driving it? That's just that. They did have a silver one, but it had the red interior, or the black and red interior, and I really disliked the black and red interior. The accents just did not look good to me. Like, it looked like it was like a Honda Civic, or those seat covers that you can get at AutoZone. That's just what those seat covers look like. It did not look classy. It did not look like a Grand Touring kind of vehicle. Like, that's kind of like how I feel the Supra and the Z kind of conveys sometimes, And so a lot of people on the online reviews kind of like dog on the automatic transmission, and I get it. I totally do. A lot of the 10 and 9 second cars out there, and they're all automatic transmission, so I'm like, something must be happening out there. We'll see. So I think this Nissan Z is definitely a progress from the 350Z, from the 370Z, and the mods that are already coming out for these vehicles, I think has a definite positive impact for this platform in the future. I like that the prices are coming down for the used and for some of the new too, because there are some of the car dealerships knocking them down a good $10,000. I think there was a few Nismos that were 65,000 and were going for $57,000. Now I'll be honest with you. Do I believe that this is a $55,000 vehicle? No, I honestly believe that a brand new performance version is a $45,000 vehicle and the sports version is a $35,000 vehicle. That's me speaking. I feel like that's the type of tuner car that these things are. Nismo should maybe be $55,000 to $60,000. That's how I feel with it. I think I bought my 370 at $35,000. I think. I can't remember that far back. And we have to fault the dealers for the failed launch of a lot of this, marking a lot of this stuff up during COVID. We have to blame them. And so I feel like Nissan should go after them for a lot of it. And so, yeah, it's their fault for not selling a lot of these vehicles. But I will say, Bill Corum Nissan, they did right by me with this vehicle. I got this for $1,000 over what their invoice was. So it was like $1,000 less than what they were advertising online. And so they hooked me up. And so if I'm ever going in for another Nissan, they're going to be my Nissan dealership. And so Jesse over there hooked me up. In fact, the main reason why I used to work for a detail shop. I used to do the sales and marketing for a detail shop. Two of my guys who were working in the detail shop with me, they are now working over there at their detail shop now. And so definitely check them out. Shout out to them. But kind of excited for this vehicle. Like, I put on, 400, 500 miles in this vehicle already, and it's only been a week and a half, and I had that Tacoma for 5 months and only put on 1,500 miles. This car is definitely I got some plans for this car. I'm bringing it to the detail shop this coming up tomorrow, and I'm getting some tint. I got my wheels on order. I got my exhaust is already here. I am going to go with more kind of like a catalog build with like the HKS downpipes, exhaust. Probably going to go HKS coilovers with the engine bay, also with carbon fiber parts, HKS. I love HKS. They're like my favorite. I know there's cheaper parts out there, but I trust HKS like no other. Debating about who I'm going to go with power parts. AMS is in the lead right now. I might just chill at 500 horsepower for right now. But again, if I'm going just downpipe and exhaust with a tune and then intake, I think I might be close to 500 horsepower, right? I mean, unless I have to push E85. If I have to push E85, I probably won't even do that. I might just stick with premium for now. I don't want to do E85 just for the simplicity of things, you know what I mean? But, just go out and enjoy this vehicle. I like taking pictures. A lot of you guys kind of knew me from the import scene beforehand. I might have to launch a whole new Instagram page, especially if a lot of current people know me from my EV content. So a lot of you guys, whenever you guys see this uploaded, you're like, Dom, what are you guys doing right now? Uploading a Nissan Z, a gas car. I'm like, this is just what I do. This is where I came from. But yeah, so get ready. We're going to be doing some things with the Nissan Z too. In fact, I'm actually kicking the Rivian out of the garage. And so that's going to be interesting. We're relocating the charger from the front of the garage to the back of the garage for two folds. One, I'm going to move the R1T out of the garage, and so just going to run the charger outside. And two, once the R2 comes here, I could easily pull the Z and the R2 inside the garage. But then, because the R2 charger is going to be on the backside of the vehicle instead of on the front, like the R1. So, yeah. It's still so funny that this is the slow car and the R1T is the fast car. The R1T is 11.5 seconds in a quarter mile. I just need to do a little bit of things and make this faster. I'm going to piss a lot of people off. So yeah, let's make double the content. I'll catch you guys later.